All right, and welcome back. This is Heat Check, episode 4. Heat Check with Brandon and Greg. I was meant to do that, but I forgot. But I remember it, so it's all good. We're back to talk some sports, a little bit of music. We're gonna start differently today. Weeknd dropped After Hours.
Yep.
The song, the title track. Discuss. Love it, hate it.
Love it.
Love it.
Love it.
What are you rating it out of 10?
I'll go with a 7 out of 10 in terms of like weekend stuff. Not in terms of like overall, but like let's just say like
overall.
A 7 out of 10. It's a good song.
How do you give a Love It and give it a 7 out of 10? A C?
Is that what you judge? Is that a 7 out of 10 is a C for you?
I mean, that's 70%.
Okay, yeah, but if you rate something out of 10 and someone goes, yeah, 7 out of 10, you're like, oh,
I'd
wow,
be like,
it's C.
It's all right.
Yeah, that's a 5.
No, a
Yeah, I hate
5 is abysmal.
Then what's a 1?
You cut it off before you finish listening?
That's just not.
No. A 1 is one of those
all
songs
right,
where you cut it off.
I'll give it 9 out of 10.
I mean, I don't want to influence your rating. I'm just trying to figure out your scale here.
9. It's a great song. What do you think?
I give it a 7. No, I mean, so I think originally I gave it, I wanted to give it a 7. Listening in my car and listening at night, I think helped. And it's been stuck in my head for a couple of days, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's classic Weeknd.
I'm giving it 7.5.
Yeah, it's good.
No, it's a good song.
It's good.
I mess with it. It's no Phony People, but it's up there.
Yeah.
That song's a 10.
All right.
So if you're wondering what the scale is,
Phony People is
Phony
10.
People
That's
is a
the
10.
scale.
Yeah,
right.
that's the bar. Did you get a chance to listen to Justin Bieber's album?
No.
There was I didn't either, but somebody released a video where like this is just the same song 15 times, and then it went down and played like.
Is it actually?
And played like 10 seconds of each song, and the beats are eerily similar.
Yeah.
Maybe he doesn't have it like that anymore.
I mean, he probably has it however he wants to have it. So, if he's
He was
feeling
begging. He was begging for like views though, so like I don't know, to try to get the #1 single, and he couldn't knock off the box.
It never knocked off the box?
No.
Huh.
I don't.
Wasn't it before the box though?
No, the box came out first. Then Yummy came out, and he wanted Yummy to be the #1 song, so he was pushing for it, and like released everything, like cut it down real low, don't mute it, put it in a bunch of playlists, put it on repeat.
I would have sworn that was #1 at a point.
Yummy?
Yeah.
It might have eventually cracked it, but the first week it didn't.
Yeah.
And it's pretty difficult. It
For
kind of died
Bieber
out.
not
Like
to.
I
Yeah.
feel like I haven't.
Yeah,
It's not even starred on his album.
Yeah.
On Apple Music, it has a star. I know I had to explain that to you because you use Amazon Music.
Well, gotta do what you gotta do.
It might now show up in like your.
It might. I'll have to look for it. Maybe that's why I haven't listened to it, because it hasn't popped up yet. Thanks, Amazon Music.
There you go. Although if Amazon Music wants to sponsor, feel free.
Yeah, we're so down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me all the AWS stats of the pod.
Right. That's right.
All right. Anything new else music wise that came out that you loving?
Not that I can think of.
There is a song.
Oh, the Amarian Payne song.
Oh yeah, that's a good song. That's a good record.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Amarian was okay. He wasn't
Yeah.
great, but T-Pain I think came through and just.
Which is a bummer, but
He just did what Pain does.
Yeah. Hate to see it sometimes.
He gave us a little Teddy. Like I felt that wasn't just T-Pain. That was an alias.
Yeah, no, it was a good record.
That was a great song. I like that.
I
don't know if it's a great song, but it's a fun record. I'd like to hear it out. Just kind of see how it goes off on these streets.
With the people?
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know if anyone's checking.
I don't know.
For Omarion lately. So you got to make sure that we hear it. Let's see. I'm sure it'll come out somewhere, and we'll hear it. That one I need to play it loud to see. Another song that the YG and Kalani song, Conclusions. Yep. That beat is incredible. I don't even think YG had to say anything. Like they could have just let the beat rock for 3 minutes. I would have been happy. And then the song called "Moment" by Victoria Monet.
Have not listened to it.
It's really good. I'm gonna mess with that one. Only critique it after hours. The reason it's low is it's too long.
I like it.
First minute and a half, I could do without. But with that, we will transition to our bread and butter.
Hoops.
Go basketball. Duke got smacked by 22.
Yeah, I mean...
NC State is essentially a home game, though.
No, in conference, away games are a lot more difficult than people lead on. Like, Duke is... like, Coach K put it pretty good in his post-game presser that they're a good team that have won a lot of games. And
Ooh.
I don't think Duke
They're talking about NC State.
No. Coach K was saying that Duke's a good team that has won a lot of games, but he doesn't think that they're as good of a team that is a 22-3 or whatever they were at the time team. So like, and I agree with him. Like they're a good team, but it's not like they're Duke of last year or they're another. Like college basketball is weird, but it's this year. But it's not like they're a powerhouse team. It's just they've won a lot of games. So it's really not surprising to see them. I mean, it's surprising to see them get worked, but it's not surprising that they dropped an away conference game, especially in a trap game like NC State, because I believe they had a tough schedule before and after. So, I mean, it was a trap
Virginia
game.
Tech after.
Who's given teams troubles this year?
It's just...
They were due to drop a game. That's, in my opinion. I mean... It's not that surprising that they lost an away road game. Obviously it's an away conference game.
I don't know. I just feel like what's going on with college basketball this year?
A lot of nobody wants to be good.
It's just like
nobody wants to be a 1 seed.
Does Virginia have people spooked now that the 16 seed is beat a 1 and now nobody wants it?
No, it's. Nobody wants to be. It's been since the start of this year. Nobody wants to be. Nobody wants to go out and take it. The closest thing that there was this year, there has been this year, has been San Diego State, who up until this weekend was undefeated, and they lost. I mean, not a buzzer beater, but they lost in the last second to UNLV. Away, but still like.
Then BYU and beat Gonzaga.
Yeah, I mean, that's not a terrible loss for Gonzaga, though, because BYU's ranked, and it's also... It's at BYU, which the environment looked electric. BYU, I think, was 24 going into that game. And the thing is, like, Gonzaga has the target on their back these last few years, more than ever. So you get a team like BYU... who's playing Gonzaga at home, like that's a game that they're going to circle. So it's not really that surprising that they came out and at least like from the get-go it looked like it was going to be a really good game to the very end and they ended up pulling out. But I think the line was like Gonzaga I think they were favored by 5 points or something like that. So I mean Vegas knew it was going to be a relatively close game. And yeah, I think the away game makes it difficult.
Gonzaga plays in the WCC.
Yep.
There's no acceptable game to lose in the WCC.
I mean,
as a St. Mary's grad,
I know. I'm just saying, like BYU is a good team this year.
Don't care.
Yeah, I mean, it's BYU away.
I don't care. The WCC is treated ash. Top to bottom.
So you think Gonzaga
doesn't deserve to be in that conference? They should be in a different conference.
Oh, I think so as well. But I'm just saying, like, it's not like they're losing to, like, Montana State, like on a neutral floor by 20. It's like they're going to a very good team in their gym. It was an electric environment. They lost. Like,
you can be ranked in the WCC for, like, seemingly no reason.
Are you saying BYU's not a good team?
I've seen St. Mary's be ranked.
Are you saying that BYU's not a good team?
No, they're in the WCC.
They're okay. So was Gonzaga not a good team 2 years ago, or what was it? Yeah, 2 years ago when they won the national championship, lost.
Who they lose to the national championship?
No, it wasn't
North Carolina.
2 years. It was
they lost to North Carolina.
So Gonzaga wasn't a good team when they went to the national championship.
No, Gonzaga is a good team.
But you just said they play in the WCC, so there aren't good teams.
There aren't any good teams in the WCC. Gonzaga has a great pre-conference schedule. Tell me Gonzaga doesn't have great pre-conference schedule. They go play people.
Obviously they do, but
that's my point. Nobody else in the WCC plays anybody.
I'm saying that BYU away is not a bad loss. Like it's not completely out of the question that they lose that game.
It's a bad loss.
Okay. Which is worse? Gonzaga at BYU or Duke at NC State?
Gonzaga at BYU.
That is so whack. Get out of here, man.
It's Duke by like a hair.
It's not Duke by a hair. NC State's not good.
Because they lost by 22.
NC State's not good.
Yeah, you can't lose by 22, but I just I'm not. I don't think you're giving enough credit to BYU. I don't trust any of the. No, I gave them credit. They went out and won.
I'm saying besides that game, I don't.
Like what's Gonzaga ranked? What was Gonzaga ranked?
3, I think.
Yeah, they should drop like to 15.
Stop.
How far should Duke fall?
Out
of the top 10?
No. I mean,
they'll this is my problem with the rankings. One, it's just like if
see what the rankings were at the time.
One is you could lose to a team above ranked higher than 3. You.
Oh, sorry, BYU was 17.
You could lose to a team.
BYU's 23-7.
But who did they play? They have 7 losses. If they lost to Pacific, like I don't want to hear anything from you. You could lose to a team that's ranked higher than you and drop a couple spots.
Yeah.
So you can't lose to an unranked team by 22 and then drop a couple spots.
Okay, so Duke's 22-4 now, right?
I understand that, but I'm saying.
So where would you rank them?
But what like they shouldn't drop the same amount of spots. Like they have. What was their ranking?
They're 7 now, I believe.
What were they before? 4.
Or actually, no. I think they were 7 going.
They have to drop out of the top. They have to drop out of the top 10 at least.
If they were 7, they'll probably drop out of the top 10. If they were 4,
they need to drop to like 12.
You think Duke basketball is at 23-4 is the 12th best team in the country?
After they lost by 22 to NC State, but like they should have lost to North Carolina. That was a fluke win.
Okay, so if you didn't lose, but you should have.
I'm saying that
goes negatively against you.
No, I'm saying, but if you're looking at, like you said, this is a 23-4 team that is probably not as good as other 23-4 teams, especially if you look at Duke teams in the past. Coach K said it. They have good wins, but they're not a great team. Nobody this year has looked great. So, yeah, they could drop to 12 right now because they don't look good and they lost. They had a bad loss.
So if you drop them to 12, you are putting them behind Florida State, Kentucky, Maryland, Creighton, Louisville, and Villanova.
Sure.
Okay.
But like, it's not like they won't move back up if they start winning games. Like, we can't fall victim to this fact that, oh my God, they're 12 right now. How could you? It's like, no, like, you have to get punished for that. They have to drop out of the top 10, right? We both agreed on that.
I think
that takes you to 11 or 12. I think
they'll probably drop to 10.
So I think
they'll probably drop to 10.
Have it one slot maybe behind where you think.
I'm just saying that's such a you originally we
both said out of the top 10 though.
No, but it was originally under the assumption that they were 4, which I was wrong about. And you said top 10 from 4. So
okay.
They lose at 4.
But then when you said they were 7, we said they have to follow the top 10.
I'm going to 10. I still think they're a better team than Louisville and Villanova both, and Creighton.
I don't know. We'll see. Tune in tomorrow. See who's right. You're gonna be so mad if they fall to 12.
Such a whack. BYU is a worse loss, or almost a worse loss than Duke at.
Fam, did we figure out BYU's schedule? They've lost 7 times.
Yeah, so they lost to San Francisco, which is not good.
Get out of here.
By one.
I don't care. They still lost.
Relax.
The Dons? That's who you lost to.
Hey, they got a national championship, right?
Yeah, in 1936.
I think it was like 53 or something.
In that with was that with Bill Russell?
I was in the 5th. I don't know.
Yeah.
But they lost to St. Mary's.
Bad loss.
Not a great one. Utah.
Fam.
Kansas.
Like
Boise State.
Like the Jayhawks, Kansas?
Who? Yeah.
Okay, I don't know.
And San Diego State.
So they have two good losses. And the other teams suck.
No, I mean, they lost to Gonzaga as well. Except for at Gonzaga. Gonzaga beat them by 23.
All right, so I'll give you. They lost to Gonzaga.
We just
They
gotta
lost
move on from this,
Kansas.
man.
So I was right.
Just-
That BYU is not like they're not that good.
No, that is a. I don't understand how you think that is a borderline equivalent loss to Duke losing at NC State.
Because Duke is 23-4. Like you said, it was a trap game.
Done with you.
All right, let's talk about if you're worried about your Celtics after this Lakers game.
No.
You're not? You're not worried
Why
that Brad Wanamaker is getting like
Hella burn.
25 minutes too much?
Well, I mean, Kemba Walker didn't play, so
Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah, I'm not worried at all. The Celtics smoked the Lakers at home, and then go to LA and Tatum goes off. LeBron hits a turnaround fadeaway, and then Kemba Walker didn't play. Lakers were a full strength.
You feel like
I'm not worried.
anybody else can get their shot besides Kemba and Tatum?
What you mean?
Like can get their own shot,
Oh, Jaylen Brown, Gordon Hayward.
but like consistently.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Tatum. So
Tatum was cooking, and they started
Tatum
doubling
has
Tatum,
been cooking. Like
and it's just like
Tatum's turning into something scary, in my opinion. Like he is right now. Yeah, like he's a man. Jaylen Brown is not quite on Tatum's level, but to be fair, like I don't think a ton of players are, because that's how good Tatum's been playing lately. I mean, the Lakers, I want to say, like not KD, LeBron and Anthony Davis combined for something stupid, and then the rest of the Lakers didn't do anything. I think their second highest scorer was Kuzma.
swag.
Disgusting. Yeah. AD had 32, LeBron had 29. Shout out my guy JaVale McGee had 4. Kuzma had 16, and Dwight Howard had 10. I think actually Kuzma played a pretty good game, which the Lakers need if they're gonna. They really need him to keep playing like that. But yeah, I mean the Celtics spread it around more evenly. Hayward had 10, Tatum had 41, Tice had 16, Brown had 20, and Mark Smart had 4.
Are you guys
14.
overpaying Gordon Hayward?
I mean,
So yes,
define overpay.
you're not getting what you paid for when you signed him.
If
Like, where would you rank him? He is the what best player on your team? 4th? 5th?
I'd say tied third, probably.
With who?
I think him and Jaylen Brown are pretty comparable.
If you had to keep one.
I'd keep Jaylen because of his age.
All right, so we're going to drop Gordon to 4th.
No, because that's a different conversation.
How you time it? Okay, well, if you have to pick one at 3.
Fine. Just Jaylen Brown.
Okay, so he's your 4th best player.
Yeah,
And how much money is he making?
30 something.
All right, so do they trade him this offseason or next offseason?
Listen, if they've got to look at a run, which I think that they do in the next 2 years, I don't think you can say that they're overpaying for somebody if they get.
They have to win a title.
I don't think they have to win it. I don't think it's to the extent that like other teams are, where they'll put together these teams for like 2 seconds and be like, okay, it's title or bust.
I'll only say, like, if they win a title in the next 2 years, then no, you're not overpaying anyone.
Yeah.
Like, you paid the price of admission, right? That gets you there. If you don't win a title in 2 years, it's like, all right, maybe we're overpaying Gordon Hayward.
So here's
which might not be his fault. Like, I think the injury, obviously.
Here's why I don't think they're overpaying him necessarily. At the time when Hayward was a free agent a few years ago, you had to pay Gordon Hayward. There wasn't a ton on the market at the time, and somebody was going to give him a max deal. So the Celtics had to, because at the same time they were trying to piece together a winning team, and because Al Horford needed help, and you bring in Gordon and Kyrie, and all of a sudden you're looking at something before you realize that Kyrie is not fitting, to say the least.
Man, it's just the soul that's left your eyes.
Yeah,
just saying his name.
yeah,
it's crazy.
it does. Yeah. But no, like I think that at the time you had to pay for people, and I think sometimes we kind of get into this conversation where it's like, oh, like is the amount of money you're spending, the amount of production you're getting out of them. You had to pay. It's not like you're necessarily spending money to, like get a certain points per game or get a certain rebounds per, and so like Hayward's a valuable piece of that team, 100%. If he wasn't a valuable piece, for sure, what we're paying. But like he's an important part of that team, and I think to an extent the Celtics do go how he goes. If he has a good game, the Celtics are just because the other pieces around him. Like if he's playing well, then the Celtics are probably in a very good spot.
No, I think that overpaying at the time versus overpaying once you're in. Obviously, hindsight is 20/20.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I think they're different, right? Because I agree with you.
For
Like
sure.
you had to pay what you had to pay for him.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like I don't think that anyone projected him to be your fourth best player.
I don't think anybody else projected him to break his ankle as bad as he did and be out for the year.
I mean, obviously, but
it's tough in that regard because like I see what you're saying, where it's like, yeah, man, I think he's the second highest paid player. I think Kemba's making more than him, but
probably
I think he is. Not by that much though.
No.
But it's tough being like, well, he's not the 1-2 punch. It's Tatum. But like, it'd be different if he didn't get hurt, and it would also be different if the Celtics didn't have other players playing up. So like, because if Tatum wasn't balling out right now, and nobody was the number 2 option to Kemba, then it's very easy to point the finger kind of at Gordon Hayward, even with the injury.
You think Tatum's the number 2 option?
I think Tatum's the number 1 option.
I was gonna say that. Yeah.
But I'm saying like if Tatum's not there, let's say that makes Kemba the 1, right?
Yeah.
Number 1 option. If nobody is taking that like confirmed second role or top 2 role with Kemba, then it's like, okay, Gordon Hayward, like why are we paying you even though you got hurt? Like, it's tough because like it's not like he pulled a hamstring, right? Like his injury was devastating.
Yeah.
So I think it's a tall task to ask any player to come back from that and then demand the same amount. I do think he's back to 100%, but I think that not playing for a year does take a toll, even on an NBA player, right? Like,
yeah.
So I mean, we'll see. I still like where the Celtics are at. I love where the Celtics are at right now. Yeah.
You trading for Wiggins in the Minnesota pick next year, straight up?
No. No.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it either. So
No.
Both sides saying no there. Okay. Here's a tweet from Skip Bayless.
Our favorite.
Yeah. This is gonna fall into our you hating segment of the week.
I haven't heard this. I'm so excited.
Excuse me. Funny. LeBron, single covered by Jaylen Brown, ran from the free throw line late again. ... By all out fading away. ... And making the jumper. Okay. He did it the hardest way. Won't work consistently.
Yeah, I mean, it's Skip Bayless, so it's really tough for. I mean, it's Skip.
Here's my problem with the tweet. Removing who it is. Skip Bayless is a Jordan Kobe guy.
Oh yeah, staunch through and through.
All right, perfect. What was their signature shot?
Yeah, I mean,
just for those who don't know, was it a fadeaway?
Fadeaway,
okay.
Running away
Got
from
you.
the basket, falling out of bounds. Long two.
Who was the first person to go work with Hakeem Olajuwon?
Yeah,
is it Kobe? Okay,
yeah.
So.
Yeah.
When LeBron passes the ball at the end of the game, you kill him for not shooting. He doesn't have the killer instinct like Kobe and Jordan.
Passes George Hill at the end of that finals game, game 1.
When he takes the Kobe fadeaway, he was running from the free throw line.
Well, the interesting thing about LeBron is like there are some people to which he will never be better than Jordan.
Sure.
Which is fair. Everybody has their opinions, but like also with those people, it's like. He's so big that, like, he's so big of a basketball player, right? Like he's such an iconic that the only person that you can compare him to is Jordan at this point.
Yeah.
So I think like you have these staunch, like Jordan lovers that LeBron, regardless of what he does, is gonna get smoked for it, right? Like, and Skip's just one of those guys. He's the worst, but he's one of those guys.
Yeah, I mean, this just goes back to my point that sports media is nasty, and it's not like it's just I just have such a problem with it because it's just like there are people that aren't informed or like knowledgeable about basketball.
They'll listen to that.
This is the content that they watch to get informed on the game, which is not right or wrong, but it's like if you have a national TV show that you record 5 days a week.
Yeah, I mean, it's
to some degree, like it's you can't just like this. You don't believe that.
That's undisputed, right?
Undisputed, yeah. And I love Shannon, but you make Shannon has to go so far the other way to cape for LeBron.
Shannon has to be like the I don't want to say the media, but like the knowledgeable one of the two, and like the reasonable one also. And like that's funny because throughout his broadcasting, if you want to call it career, like his career as a personality, like he hasn't been that guy, right? He's been essentially like a Skip Bayless-esque kind of like.
Shit. I don't know what he did before Undisputed though.
He was just featured on like a couple different shows, I believe.
Yeah.
And I think he was like a regular guest. I want to say he did something small with ESPN, but I could be very wrong about that. I remember watching Shannon Sharp and being like, oh, this guy's super animated and he's there for viewership. And since he's gone on Undisputed, I don't listen to it that often, just to be clear. But when I have, it's been like, oh, wow, he's actually adding like...
Yeah, it just makes the LeBron segments throwaways because it's Skip says something unreasonable and finds a way to find some crazy thing to criticize LeBron, and then then Shannon's wearing the GOAT mask because he's GOAT James, and like he's got to go too far the other way.
I love it.
And it's just it's entertaining, but leave me alone. Also, I don't know if you saw Lethal Shooter, who's like one of these celebrity trainers. He's a shooting coach. He posted this video and put cleaner travel when James Harden played the Jazz.
Oh,
and took 3 steps.
I saw. So it was one of those pictures where like you see one thing and then you like there's like 2 images and you see the other thing and then you can't unsee it. First time I saw it was like travel, and then Filet on Instagram, he posted a video of it as well. He's like, "Yo, it's a travel," and then he replayed it the second time. He's just like, "Nah, it's dribble pickup, 1-2." And after I saw that, I was like, I think it's not a travel. In the NBA, it's not a travel.
Fam.
In the NBA, it's not a travel.
Here's my problem with that. I don't want to see any celebrity trainers posting stuff like that.
No.
And my only reason is because you have unreasonable influence because you train players in the NBA. And like,
wait, did he say it was travel?
No, I don't even want you to put the clean or travel. Like, it should be a discussion. Like you either need to explain why
that's like the whole clickbait thing.
You need to explain why it's not a travel or why it is a travel.
Yeah, I mean.
Now, I personally think the step before he shoots to his left is the gather. It's when he stops dribbling.
So you think it's a gather if he's going backwards into a jump step essentially, or
no? I'm talking about specifically this play with the Euro.
Oh, okay.
So he dribbles with his right foot on the ground.
Yep.
And then he picks like the ball comes up
simultaneously. That he's taking a step. Yeah.
But that's the gather if you no longer dribble. To me.
Okay. Yeah. I see what you're saying.
So you can't reward him with an extra step because you're saying he's gathering, because
he's mastered that though, like both on the shot and just like on his trips to the lane, like he's mastered that whole like, oh, this extra step is my gather.
But so it's not a carry and it's not a travel as long as you have your hand on top of the ball, right?
Right, yeah.
So you're telling me I could theoretically Euro step with my hand on top of the ball, right? And that's the gather because I haven't. You see what I'm saying?
No,
like it's very difficult.
Oh, trust me, there. Like when I watched it, that's what I was saying. Like I was not one way or the other. Like this is 100% a travel. This is 100% because I saw it both ways. But like, I think that's part of like Harden's craft that he's perfected. is that
The
Gather.
No,
It's a well,
the Gather, yes, he's
it's
perfected.
a travel, but
in that case, he
he's
traveled.
Yeah, I mean,
The thing about it is, it's
I
like
can be convinced.
you get people, like you have people who see it, and then because he's so good, like you give him the benefit of the doubt, and then so like it almost blurs the line.
Yeah.
Because you're thinking, oh, he's in the NBA. These players are so great. They're not just gonna just travel, but then you see people like stop dribbling or.
See, the NBA is like it's kind of like pickup to me, like in terms of calling travels, like. In pickup ball, like if it's close, you're not gonna call it, right? Like it's got to be egregious.
Yeah.
And I just don't know if I think it probably depends on how close the game is.
I'm more upset with the guy posting it and putting this like to try to start discussion because you're not discussing it. You're just having people in your comments. Go back and forth on it, and I don't think it adds anything. Worth anything. So
I feel that.
That's just me. Kobe's memorial's today.
Yep.
I don't think we have a deep dive on it, but just definitely something we have to mention. I don't know how much of it you saw, but I think
I was glad to see the humor that was like presented for. I think Gino had a couple jokes, and Shaq, and so did Michael, and I mean it's obviously it's like a sad day for all them, for the basketball community, but.
Is this the most human we've seen Jordan? Like, the difference between Jordan and Kobe is Jordan was a killer on the court, same with Kobe. When Jordan retired, you never really, I still feel like we don't know Jordan, like we don't know Michael. When Kobe retired, like it was very, I'm a dad, I'm coaching, I'm all about women's sports, I'm going to do other things, I'm giving you ESPN Plus show. Like, he won the Oscar for the documentary. So it's just like, he was very much, he was training other players, and it was just, he was able to flip a switch to give you almost a complete 180 from what you saw from his career. We never really got that with Jordan.
I mean, unless you count the ownership, but
and part of it might be the social media age gives us more Kobe.
I think that's probably it, honestly. And they could just be different people, right? Like, I don't think we could knock. I personally don't know enough about MJ to.
Well, I'm not knocking Jordan. I'm just saying, like, that's the difference. And so it's like, even when he had his Hall of Fame speech a couple years back, people said it still kind of felt like he was a little pompous and, however you wanted to see it, it didn't feel like he really settled in. But this one, it was just like, he was funny, like he was telling his stories, like you almost felt like, okay, this is Mike, like this is Michael, this is who he is. He has the joke, like he told his wife he didn't want to cry again because he didn't want to see a new Jordan meme for next 3 to 4 years, which is hilarious. That's an unbelievably well-timed, I don't think even prepared joke.
No, probably not.
Like, that's just, that was something that's off the cuff, and it's just, like, it was great. And
it was good to
you've
see.
never really seen it chink in the armor. And this sort of seems to be that. And I think, obviously, appropriately so, but it was kind of nice to see that. I think it was also incredible that Sabrina was one of the speakers. I'm just shocked that didn't violate some NCAA rule or something.
Honestly.
But I mean, it was just dope to see her there, and I think that speaks to her game. I think that speaks to the relationship that she had with Kobe, and I think that just speaks to her level of superstardom, like how
for sure,
how big you have to be to go
speak
down
at Kobe's funeral. It's crazy,
while still in college.
On game day. You
got a game at 6 tonight, and this is after you go play and you guys go wax Cal again. You get your 25th triple double, and Steph Curry is sitting at the game with his daughters.
And then post a picture of her. And then she's an icon, man. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's interesting though. Like, we haven't. She's kind of seems like she's gonna be that first woman superstar that kind of breaks through.
Yeah, the only other one that I can think of.
Taurasi.
I was gonna say Brittany Griner. But that was a different thing because Brittany Griner's hype was all around her ability to dunk and her like just pure domination as like a massive center, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean Sabrina's she's different, like, and that's.
Well, I think if you look back throughout time, it's just hard to market centers, and we've seen that with men too. Like there was a thing that Adidas and with Jordan, it's like Nike got Jordan. Adidas tried to go like, all right, we're gonna do big men. That never panned out. Yeah. Because like outside of Shaq, there's not a whole lot of personality. You know, like it's very difficult to be relatable at 6'8" and taller, or like at 7 feet.
Yeah.
And Brittany Griner is like what 6'6", 6'7".
No, I think she's like
6'8".
6. I feel like she's 6'8", but that could be
something like that. And so like
she's tall.
If I am and not to put myself in the shoes of a woman, but like if I'm growing up and I am a fan of the sport, it's very difficult to be like, oh, I can emulate Brittany Griner's game because she's 6'8",
and Sabrina's not. Like
Sabrina's Steph Curry, right?
I mean she's 5.
She doesn't seem like she's not like one of these super gifted, kind of freak athletes. She's not doing anything that you can't do. She's just extremely good, and she's killer, and she's just going to break you down and do things.
I think the marriage of social media, one, her ability and relatability, two, and then the era that we're in right now, rightfully so, of actually highlighting women's athletics, right? Like, I think Brittany Griner was... I don't even know that was kind of the start of it because it feels like it's been like a relatively recent kind of increase in...
When did she graduate from Baylor? 3 or 4 years ago now?
No, I think it was way before that.
When Brittany Griner went to Baylor?
Yeah, I think it was like...
I'm just saying like when she actually went to Baylor.
Yeah, I'm saying like
I want to say she... Maybe 5 years? Top?
I'm
like
going to
when
put
she
it
graduated?
more than that.
You think she graduated before 2015?
She went to...
I want to say like 12 to 16?
9 to 13.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So she was definitely not at the forefront of the empowerment of the female athlete, I guess is the way to put it.
2009?
Yeah, that was a long time ago, man. I'm telling you.
I guess that makes sense. Yeah, never mind. I'll tell you off mic.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I think Serena's a perfect. It's just like it's a perfect marriage of, she has the voice, she has the. I don't want to say like
game.
I mean, she's got the game for sure, but she's just got like the whole. She's got the charisma, you know what I mean? Like she's got the relatability.
Just right player, right time.
And she's a fantastic player. So I think it's all kind of... And I don't think that we're close to where we need to be on that front. But I do think that she could be the one that is...
You need someone to
different.
kind of just open the door.
For sure. And that's not to put anything like against Diana Taurasi and all them. Because like they certainly were the first wave of... making the WNBA and women's basketball like a known entity, right?
Yeah.
Sue Bird and all that, like they were, pioneers, I guess.
Yeah. You have to have that. Like that's just that phase. It's just unfortunate for them, but it kind of makes it.
But I think this is like part of what they've created, right? Like they were the ones that started the process. And I think that Sabrina hopefully is the one to kick the door open, essentially.
Yeah.
What's going to be really interesting to me, and I have my doubts about it, is how well her marketability translates, or not her marketability, but like how much she's marketed when she's in New York compared to...
You think she's going to be the number 1 pick?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, like I don't know.
That's almost like if you had to pick a city for her to go to like take it to the next level, New York is so perfect.
Yeah, the only issue
York
is
or
if you
LA.
had to pick a league for her to go to, the WNBA is not it, right? Like
Yeah,
Oregon games on ESPN are
I would take it over MLB though.
for what?
Everything.
No. No.
But it's not a baseball podcast, so don't worry about it.
I mean, do you think that the WNBA honestly is marketed more and is more televised than the MLB? Stop.
I mean, they don't play that many games, so like percentage of games that get shown
Bro,
potentially.
No.
What?
That's it's not even a conversation. It's not even close.
All right, we'll do more research.
There's
We'll
no
come back.
research to be done.
I think baseball's dying, so I would take WNBA.
Okay. I don't think the WNBA is a league, and I don't necessarily think it's to their fault. Is at all marketed close to what it should be.
It's just young too. Like that. Like people forget. Like this is not a very old league.
Oh
and
yeah, no, it's
every
not.
single league almost folded when they were this young. Like everyone, NBA, NFL,
Right,
like
but
they
they're still
all go
young.
through that.
But they're still young and they're not marketed. Like ESPN does not play their games, and that's an issue, right? Like they play them on ESPN Plus, sure, but they don't get burned on national television like ever. You turn
They
on
will for the playoffs.
finals.
For the playoffs,
They'll televise like 1 or 2 games of the playoffs, and that's like conference finals. And they will televise the finals on ESPN2, except for like game later on. They'll televise those on ESPN. WNBA is
you're not getting an argument from me. I just think that hopefully she changes that, right?
I hope so, and that's the thing is like I hope so as well. I'm just worried that ESPN is going to be like, you know, I'm not trying to throw ESPN under the bus, but it's like
No, you can.
Like Oregon is shown on like women's games are shown on ESPN, you know, from time to time this year. I think they've been shown multiple times this year. Is the New York team going to be shown multiple times per year on ESPN? I don't think so. And I think that's going to...
We'll see. I'd be interested to look up when their TV deal's up.
WNBA?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So I don't think it's tough to like say how it could go under their current TV deal. But
are they in joint with the NBA?
I think they work. No.
No, they're on their own.
Yeah.
Does the NBA oversee them?
No, they're their own thing.
Huh.
They have the NBA commercials where the NBA players are like, watch the WNBA.
I don't know why I thought that the NBA oversaw. Maybe they did at the beginning.
Don't think so, but I could be wrong. But regardless, we'll look that up.
Yeah.
We'll get back to you on that. All right, so this last point of the day is really just a passion piece because I was arguing with a buddy yesterday who I refuse to argue basketball anymore with.
We all have those.
Who is the best Raptor of all time?
Chris Bosh.
Thank you. He tried to tell me that Kyle Lowry was the best Raptor of all time.
Yeah.
I think I could think
is he a massive Raptors fan?
No.
Huh.
That's the most shocking thing.
Yeah, because I could see like a loyal Raptors fan
Even
giving
then,
love
I can't.
to Kyle Lowry, right, and being like, "Oh, he's been with us for so long."
Kyle Lowry's never been the best Raptor on his team.
Never once. He could have been this year, but Siakam
is better than him.
Yeah, this was his year to do it, and he's just not.
Shoot, he might not even be better than Van Fleet.
Yeah, I mean.
Here's the thing. Kyle Lowry has had a great career.
Yeah.
He's in no way, shape, or form the best Raptor ever.
Is he a Hall of Famer?
No.
I don't think so either. Raptors Hall of Famer, sure.
Yeah, I'm sure.
They'll probably retire his number, honestly.
Unfortunately, yes.
But yeah,
I just don't, because here's the thing. If you remember when him and DeMar couldn't get past the Cavs, they had the best record in the league. I believe he has the worst shooting percentage I can't remember if it's in the playoffs or in a series of all time. Against the
Yeah,
Cavs, he shot
was bad.
30.8% from the field and 18% from three.
Yeah, and DeMar DeRozan didn't shoot that much better.
No, he didn't.
No, they didn't.
So
that
I
was
said
bad.
Chris Bosh is better.
Yep.
DeMar
Probably
DeRozan,
Vince Carter.
Tracy McGrady.
Tracy McGrady.
If we're
Tracy McGrady was a hooper.
if we're going on just like pure like they played for the Raptors, I'm going with Hakeem Olajuwon.
Yeah, I mean,
There were a couple players that I named that I think all of those except for Hakeem, all joking aside, could be. But Chris Bosh was disgusting as a Raptor.
I mean, yeah.
My friend said he didn't pop until after he left Toronto.
That's just
I was like
opposite of true. He
then
declined.
Then he said that's what I said. I was like, I think you could argue the other thing is like him having to
100%.
take that third spot. And he was like, well, they wouldn't have won those championships without him. I'm like, you're right. He
Then
got the
that's fair.
rebound, and he kicked it to Ray Allen. 100% agree
He was
with
a
you.
vital part of that team, but like
100%. But,
well, he's like a 13-time All-Star or something
yeah,
stupid.
2006 to 2016. I think it's 11. He was like, he had to make a commercial to get an All-Star in 2008. I was like, sir, no, stop.
Yeah,
He was all-NBA second team in 2007.
Yeah,
He was the first ever player mascot. Like, he didn't get enough credit. That was a great joke.
I just didn't catch it. Yeah, he's 11-time All-Star. You're right. That's
Yeah.
my bad. I was looking.
But, I mean, it's potentially more. He got his career. He had to retire because of blood clots, not because he can't
yeah.
hoop.
Sad.
So,
Yeah, sorry. It's Bosh, and then it's
Vince.
Vince, and then it's Trace McGrady, and
Then DeMar.
then probably
Actually, no, I'm not gonna do that.
Where do
DeMar
you put Kawhi?
DeMar DeRozan is ahead of Trace McGrady. Trace McGrady is a better player.
yeah.
If we're talking just Raptors, you gotta do
I mean,
DeMar DeRozan.
DeMar, yeah. And honestly, you might be able to argue that he's more important to the Raptors than Vince Carter was.
Well, Vince put Toronto on the map, so like that's
Yeah, but he didn't stay there that long. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I mean that one's tough.
yeah.
I'm not mad either way.
Kawhi or Kyle Lowry?
Well, if you're saying that, if you're counting Kawhi as a Raptor, Kawhi's ahead of Kyle Lowry too.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think no.
That's my point. And he was saying, well,
All
like
respect to
now
Kyle
they have
Lowry.
they have a better record than the Clippers and the Raptors last year. I'm like, sure, they play in the East. The East has 3 good teams.
East is all right.
No, it's not
Yes, it is.
compared to the West.
Well, like relax with that, because
The West is like 10 teams deep.
this year,
Yes,
no, they're not.
there's 7 teams down to the Thunder are good, and then you got 3 fighting for an 8 seed.
Okay, yeah, the East has 6.
Who?
Who could?
The Bucks.
Yeah. Who are you going to count out of this? I'm interested. The
It's
Bucks.
the Bucks, the Heat,
Yep.
the Raptors, and the Celtics.
So the Sixers aren't valid, and neither
They
are
look
the Pacers.
they look trash, but I'll give you
The
this. I'll give
Pacers
you the
aren't?
Sixers. The Pacers are they're not a serious contender. So I'll give you 6.
Do you think the 7th seed in the West is a contender? Or the 8th seed in the West is a contender?
They would be in the East.
Oh, stop.
The East is bad. It's
No,
worse.
No,
the East is
Just
bad.
relax. Listen, I never
Tell me
said
it's not
the
bad.
I never said the East was fantastic.
The 7th seed in the
I'm just
East
saying
might have
the East
might
has
be 10
gotten-
games under 500.
The East has gotten a
Significantly
very bad
better.
rap. Oh, I mean it has for the last 10. And sorry that LeBron's so good that he scared everybody in the West. Prove me wrong.
Yeah, that means the East sucks.
That means that LeBron is sick. That's what that means.
I mean, LeBron is great. Don't get me wrong. Like, LeBron has done things that you're never gonna see again. But like the Nets are the 7th seed.
Yeah, listen, I never said that
And then
I
the
said 1 through
Magic.
6. I said 1 through 6. I did not.
Yeah, and I'm giving you 1 through 10 in the West.
Tell me the 10 teams.
The Grizzlies are rising. They're the A seed. The
Talk to me about
the Mavs
The Memphis Grizzlies are contenders.
in the West, yes.
Oh,
they're the
stop.
A seed. They're the A seed.
Oh my God, no!
Are we talking contenders for a title?
We're talking contenders in the West.
If we're talking contenders for a title, this is a very different conversation.
Well, what are we talking about then?
Good teams.
I just
There's good teams in the conference.
the Grizzlies are good.
Yeah,
Are they better than the Pacers? No.
I might take him.
Okay. Well, I'll take the Pacers.
Who guarding Ja?
Who's guarding Oladipo or Sabonis?
No, you can guard Oladipo right now.
Malcolm Brogdon is probably going to shut down whoever because he's nice.
He's not shutting down Ja.
Bro.
Ja different.
Okay.
He
is.
The Trailblazers are better than the record. They've just been hurt.
Yeah, I agree on that. Yeah, sure.
They're the 9 seed.
Sure.
The Pelicans are a much better team now that Zion's
Get out
back.
of here.
Zion's averaging like 30 points a game.
I know.
Like,
he's scary, man. He's different.
Tell me their season wouldn't be different if he didn't sit out for 2 months.
It would be, and it's
they
not
got
like
time.
I want to play them, but he's the only scary thing on that team.
3.5 back at the 8 seed.
He's the only scary thing on that team.
I'm telling you right now, AD do not want to see Zion.
Nobody wants to see Zion. The only player that could is like Jokic. It's just two fat boys just going at each other.
Oh no, Jokic down 25 pounds. He said.
I know, and you
can almost see his jawline.
You can almost see it. I mean,
his problem is he looks like he doesn't. He reminds me of Justin Herbert. Like these are two people that look like they do not care to play the sport that they play.
I am so on board the Jokic train. It's not even funny.
No, I mess with Jokic. He's unbelievable.
So nice.
But tell me it doesn't look like he just doesn't care sometimes.
He just kind of saunters around, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean...
And he came into the season 30 pounds overweight.
Zion... the only reason Zion looks like he, super cares is when he gets pissed. He, swings his arms even more when he walks.
No, Zion looks like he cares because when you get the rebound, he just snatches it from you.
He just rips it.
And there was some, insane stat, 81% of the shots either go in or he rebounds.
Or he's rebounded by Zion, yeah. I'm telling you, he's... he's a specimen.
Yeah, if you think he couldn't have gone straight to the league at 18.
At 7th grade, I'm telling you, man.
When him and Ja were in AAU together, he could just go straight to the league.
Yeah, Ja still looked like he was going through puberty, and Zion was just breaking backboard. Yeah, I mean, that guy's just different.
Next week, we're going to talk about how we fix the Suns.
Okay, let's do it.
And I think
we're playing GM of the Suns.
I think it starts with trading Devin Booker to Minnesota.
That's wonderful.
To debilitate them.
All right, so we're gonna play GM of the Suns for next week.
Yeah, Suns and Kings.
That's a tough assignment. Those are tough assignments.
Yeah,
I'm ready.
I know.
I'm ready.
First thing I'm doing with the Kings.
We'll talk about next week.
No, Harrison Barnes shaved. Don't worry about it. You're not shaving until we get to 500 or whatever he's doing.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Just go ahead and shave.
Just get it over with, man. Get it over.
They'll get you a Gillette sponsorship or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, we gotta get out of here. This is Heat Check Podcast with Brandon and Greg.
Volume D.
I'm not doing that. Why are you messing up my outro? We'll see you next week.